Hi, this is GUOAN Liu, and in today's BMA547 case study presentation, I'd like to give you a basic understanding of a case which is about Google. After that, I'd like to give solutions about 3 different questions based on the case. So before we explore the answer of the 3 different questions, I'd like to give you some basic understanding of the background information of my case about the Google. At the beginning, the Google likes smart creatives, and that makes sense because Google is a unicorn among the technology-driven companies, so they can attract the talents around the world. But it seems like it has serious diverse problems inside of the company because there are 70% employees are male and 79% managers are male, and there are only 3 out of 36 executives are females. So when they find out the problem, they begin the training on the unconscious biases, which means some employees inside of Google, they have the unconsciousness or consciousness biases or discriminations, sexist among other people. But in fact, the women and men are highly similar employees, and there are no research shows that they are obviously intelligence differences between women and men. But still, there is a problem that there is a pay differentials that women computer scientists receive 89% of the pay that men are for the same job. So in order to solve the following questions, this is the necessary information we need to know. And here comes to the question 1. Which is, does this article change your perception of Google as an employer and how? And for me, the answer is absolutely yes, because diversity has many benefits. For example, research shows that diverse teams tend to make higher quality decisions. In a diverse work team, people will have different opinions and perspectives. In these teams, individuals are more likely to consider more alternatives and think outside of the box when making decisions. And also, therefore, having a diverse workforce may have a direct impact on a company's bottom line by increasing the creativity in decision making. After that, a company with a diverse workforce may create the products and services that appeal to a broader customer base. And the company with a diverse workforce may understand the needs of a particular groups of customers better, and a customer may feel more at ease when they are dealing with a company that understands their needs. And when the employee feel that they are fairly treated, they tend to be more satisfied. On the other hand, when employees perceive that they are being discriminated against, they tend to be less attached to the company and less satisfied with their job and experience a more stress at work. So I was having a different perception about Google before reading the article, since I think it's a well-established and advanced modernized company, and I never thought there will be issues related to the diversity and discrimination. So in a big company like Google, people from across the world working here, issues such as racism and discrimination will destroy the unity, and it will affect the company's performance as well, and such as the low efficient decision making, the narrow product attraction, and dissatisfied their employees. So the answer is yes. Before reading the article, I thought there is no discrimination inside of Google, but it changed my mind of Google as an employer. And for the next question, which is would you agree that although Google helps to modernize the workplace in other companies, its own workforce is old-fashioned? And my answer is no, it's not. Because Google in the world is known to have one of the finest and most advanced workforces around the world. Although to some extent, the workforce of Google lacks diversity in them, such as sex, racial preference, but it still has a multicultural attitude inside of it. And Google has the knowledge of the latest technology, application, and software. It also have the knowledge of the best working practices and others. That makes sense because, as the article pointed, Google has one of the best work environment of it, and which attract the talents around the world, especially the smart creatives, and which means the smart creatives around the world work for Google, and that makes all of these points out that the fact that the workforce of Google has all the latest and modern and advanced attributes. And so it does modernize other companies' workforce, but its own workforce is not at all old-fashioned. And the conclusion is that Google helps in modernizing the workplace of other organizations, but that does not mean that Google itself has an old-fashioned workforce, because it attracts the talents around the world, and it has the latest technology, so the workforce will not fashioned, is not old-fashioned. Yes. And so it comes to the question 3, why are older people often neglected or discriminated against in the Google? So I have to talk something about something really about the theoretical. So when we talk about the diversity in organizational behavior, we are talking about demographic diversity and cultural diversity. In the demographic diversity, there is a similar attraction phenomenon. It may explain why older employees often neglected or discriminated against, and some of the potential unfair treatment based on the demographic traits. The demographic traits are part of what makes up surface level diversity. And the surface level diversity includes the traits that are highly visible to us and those around us, such as race, gender, and age. The researchers believe that people pay attention to surface diversity because they are assumed to be related to deep level diversity, which includes values, beliefs, and attitudes. And we want to interact with those who share the same values and attitudes with us. But when we first meet people for the first time, we have no way of knowing whether they share the similar values. As a result, we tend to use surface level diversity to make judgments about deep level diversity. So Google is a technology-driven company, which means most of the employees working for Google are relatively young. According to a similarity attraction, they are more willing to establish contact with people of the same age, while those older employees are ignored or even discriminated against. And a fault line is an attitude along which a group is split into subgroups. Age and gender combine to divide the group into two subgroups. The members of the different subgroups may avoid communicating with each other, reducing the overall cohesiveness of the team, and that is another reason why elder people are neglected and even discriminated against. In conclusion, in this presentation, I explained the diversity problem faced by Google and answered 3 questions and have explained some theories related to organizational behavior. For question 1, yes, this article has changed my perception of Google as an employer because I thought there will not be discrimination inside such a big company like Google. And for question 2, no, Google is still a unicorn and keep attracting talent employees around the world. Its employees are definitely not old-fashioned. But I want to say that management of diversity effectively promises a number of benefits for companies and may be a competitive advantage. Yet, challenges such as natural human tendencies to associated with those similar to us and using stereotypes in decision-making often act as barriers to achieve this goal. By creating a work environment where people of all origins and traits feel welcome, organizations will make it possible for all employees to feel engaged with their work and remain productive members of the organization. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening. And here's my reference list. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact with me. Thank you.